All right, I think it needs to be stated that I, Curtis King, am not anti-music industry. In fact, I am pro-independence. However, I think that in my past, I've allowed that pro-independence to slowly but surely overlap into anti-industry. And who could blame you? Like when you start thinking about the freedom that I had in my late 20s and early 30s, selling beats online, not needing placements to support what I was doing, not needing the industry to make me a household name so that I can make a comfortable living doing what I love, understanding that that put me in a certain small percentile of music creators in general who were able to not be a starving artist for the rest of their life. It's really easy for you to get to a place where you look at all of your bitter experiences like I had. I had a lot of bitter experiences in the music industry. A lot of ones that I guess I would come to understand were quite traumatic. I mean, it wasn't nobody touching no booty holes or nothing like that. And none of them crazy stories you be watching on these Illuminati pages and all of that. But it was enough for me to say, this environment is not for me. And although I didn't know what to expect on the other side, I didn't have examples of someone who did what I did, leaving the industry after getting placements with Kendrick Lamar, Ab-Soul, and E40, and all the other folks that I have worked with. I did it, and I walked in faith. And thankfully, I had mentors who had done their own homework and could lead me into different directions that could give me the opportunity to at least try. Thankfully, it worked. It worked so well that I made more money online than I ever did pursuing placements in the industry, or even getting placements in the industry. Getting opportunities with major corporations, it was just different. When it was I that got to determine how I spend my time. It was different when I decided, you know what, I don't like late night sessions like that. I like waking up early and getting to work. You know what, I don't like being invited to studios to bring someone else's vision to life, especially when it's content or musical topics that I can't relate to, right? Doing that in the name of the love of music didn't connect with me because I could love music from home. I could love music on my own time. And eventually, of course, fast forwarding plus a whole lot of crazy experiences, it led me to the internet, and I pivoted and started making producer content when it wasn't really that popular. There was only a handful of people who were doing it. And when I did it, I was told I was crazy. Matter of fact, the friends I did make, the genuine friends, not the associates that I made in the industry, said, "You're crazy. This is the best time of your career. What are you doing?" But as the story would go, I did it. I found a way to generate income and support myself as well as my family. And I was supremely proud of myself. However, that pride slowly turned into a little bit of arrogance, financial arrogance, but mostly arrogance directed in the direction of the music industry. I looked and I was like, y'all said I wasn't going to be able to make it. Y'all said I wasn't going to be able to do it. Y'all tried to cut me out of rooms playing the politic game, and look at what I'm doing right now. No, I don't need your placements. Matter of fact, I have the power now to say no, because me dedicating my time to your placements is taking away from my business. And that gave me a sense of pride, right? But that's faulty ground to build your pro-independence on, from what I found. What it does is it starts to make you turn into a pseudo troll. And so I did become one, especially in my skits. Think about the character I played called Sus Bunny. Sus Bunny is all about being the worst example of an industry music producer. The guy that you ask a question at a seminar and they tell you something like, you were like, yo, man, how can I get more placements? And they say something like, man, believe in God. You feel me? And like, just keep God first and everything will fall. Like, you know the avatar I'm talking about. And so I felt the need to tell the story. And I felt that although my energy was pure, right? Well, maybe not 100% pure. Maybe I was trying to, shake up the boat a little bit. I did not take into account that there's a cause and effect for the things that you do. My issue was always with the people behind the scenes who get to use creatives as pawns, who get to replace and recycle whatever name, no matter what happens to them, no matter if their livelihood's at risk, they get to replace these people and live their lives. And I felt like that is unfair, right? They get to blackball people and say, I don't care how talented you are, we're just going to all agree not to have you in the club anymore. And so when I left the industry, I recognized that not everybody would be as lucky as I was to sell beats online and make a decision to change my entire financial landscape in life. I made more money selling beats than I ever did from any placement I received. But that's not everybody's situation. So I didn't realize that some of the decisions I was making were actually affecting some of my friends' abilities to maneuver in certain rooms because they were still pursuing placements and also stand by me as a friend in a public sense. Because standing by me when I'm up here wilding out as Sus Bunny and, you know, saying all of my anti-industry rhetoric, it makes it seem like that's your boy. You feel the same way as them. And when you put people in those situations, which was never my intent, you compromise their ability to generate income in situations that should just be a layup. But that's how the industry is. So many people are so hypersensitive because they create these bubbles around themselves and their brands. And all they hear are people telling them good things. And it's usually the most powerful people who feel this way, right? And the moment anybody enters their bubble with something that's not positive, they overreact. And that's just the nature of it. So, and understanding that now, after conversations with my guy, Willie B, it helped shine a light on two of my best friends in the world. And they've never said a word. The homie Yogash and the homie Nabi, and who, between the two of them, have been racking up placements like crazy. Now, in the midst of my pro independence, what doesn't get seen is that I congratulate my brothers on their accomplishments because I am supremely proud. I tell them, hey, you guys are like my second life there. I'm going to give you as much energy and as much information as I can that's relevant so that you do not get screwed the way that I got screwed. Here are the mistakes that I made. Don't make these mistakes if you want to be successful there. Not once have I ever got them on the phone and they said something along the lines of, nah, Curtis, you know what? I can't help you because of your anti-industry rhetoric. I was giving grace. Beyond that, I actually had a conversation with an industry-based producer that helped me see it from another perspective. A certain Dame Taylor, who I absolutely think you should look him up. I think it's Dame Monster on YouTube. Absolutely look him up. If you put the name in, you'll get multiple YouTubes and whatnot. He was somebody that was very critical of not just the rhetoric, but my teaching of certain music producers who come through my space and they learn certain things that are advantageous to me as the producer that I am, the swing heavy, boom bap, trap, drill, whatever I want to make, hybrid producer. Yeah, I'm going to give you teachings that are appropriate for that, but not necessarily towards getting you placements because, well, that's not my goal. And it dawned on me that I could very well be sending students his way that become thorns in his side. Now, some of you may be saying like, well, why should you give a damn? You already left the industry. You told them forget y'all. Why is that your concern? For two reasons. I look at all my students who invest in my courses, who join my Patreon as a part of my responsibility to ensure that I lead you the best way that I know possible. Okay? And so this is where it's important for me to be clear from here on out. This is not a channel that is supposed to guide you to the music industry. This is not a channel that is meant to be a graveyard of industry stories and create this propaganda and rhetoric, true or not. This is not the purpose of it. The purpose is pro-independence. Pro-independence looks a lot different than anti-something, right? Anti feels like you're leaning into something. Anti feels like you're angry. Anti feels like you're on the attack. When you're pro something, it means that it brings you so much joy and so much happiness and so much empowerment in itself, not in spite of anything else, that you cannot help but glow as a result of it. You cannot help but be obsessive about how to help yourself and help others along the way who are on this journey. But my friends, in this journey, I have lost my way many times, being too concerned about being anti-industry. And many times, like I said before, at the expense of folks that I love and that I want to see win and continue to win. So with that said, today's video is just a reminder that I am not anti-music industry, but that I am pro-independence. And in the same way that all the people who have done bad to us, right? The industry that I might have done the worst type of things business-wise to me. In the same breath that I can say there's terrible people, there's some good people, it's a terrible structure. The way I can say all of that, I cannot give them credit for all the bad that has happened in my music career without somehow giving them credit for the good that has happened in my career. I am pro-independence as a result of my very unique experience in the music industry. Not because I'm anti the music industry. There's a lot of things I don't agree with, but I'm not leaning into that. I'm leaning into this pro-independence, teaching you guys how to start your own record label, teaching you guys how to produce for yourself if you're an artist, teaching producers how to become artists if you're interested in becoming artists. Like, that's what drives me. And I'm grateful for conversations that I've had, like with my guy Willie B and with Dame Taylor, because it helps to recenter me and refocus me on what matters most. I don't want to dedicate my time to exposing something that has already been exposed. We know what it is over there. And for some of you, you still want to pursue it because this is what your dreams are. Who am I to tell you any different? I'll just be big bro, or I'll just be your brother, or I'll just be a word of advice that if things don't go according to plan, if the industry tells you that you're too old, if the industry tells you your music is too different, come knocking. We got a room for you. We welcome you in with open arms, and we'll show you step by step how to become the DIYer you were meant to be. For everyone else, if the industry is still in your plans, I just want you to protect yourself and protect your business. As a friend, I want you to look out for yourself and realize that you need to establish something independently outside of that space, just in case. But if you have that desire, follow the folks that are actually in the industry, right? Shout out to Dame Taylor. That's a great YouTube to understand the politics and the relationships, how you should treat those relationships, the inner workings, all that good stuff. Go there. That's a good place to go. But for those of you that are very similar to me, and I'm in a very trailblazing space in which there haven't been many examples of anybody who has gone at it this route, let's continue to be pro-independent. Because regardless what happens in that ecosystem, we got a job in this one. Peace.